Welcome to our deep dive into the nuances of how we talk about the future in English.
Yeah,
If you're prepping for a trip or just want to sound more sophisticated, this is the episode for you.
absolutely.
We're going to tackle two big things.
Okay.
Future plans and then those tricky conditional sentences.
Yeah, sounds good.
So let's jump right into future plans.
Okay.
We've got will, going to even present continuous. Could you just break down the differences for us?
Sure. So will is for like those split-second decisions. Like
Oh.
if the phone's ringing, I will answer it.
Right.
It's spontaneous.
Oh.
But if you say, I am answering the phone later,
Yeah.
then it's like a fixed arrangement.
Hmm.
And for something you've really thought about, you'd use going to.
Okay.
Like, we are going to travel to Paris next year.
Gotcha. So it's all about the level of planning involved.
Exactly.
It's funny to think how the wrong tense could lead to confusion.
Right.
Imagine saying, look at those clouds, it is raining, when it's not even raining yet.
Yeah, you definitely want to choose the right tense to sound natural.
Okay, so we've covered will and going to. What about those words that add a little uncertainty?
Right. So we have might, may, and could.
Give us some examples of how those work.
Sure. So instead of, I will go to the park tomorrow, you could say, I might go to the park. It
And
just shows a bit more hesitation.
got it. And what about could?
Well, could is even less certain.
Okay,
Like I could go to the park, but I could also stay home and read a book.
so it's all about those shades of meaning.
Exactly.
I love it. Now, listeners, think about how you'd use these to describe your weekend plans to a friend.
Yeah, good idea.
Now let's move on to conditional sentences, the what-ifs of English grammar.
Yes, those are fun.
We use them all the time to explore possibilities and imagine different outcomes.
Exactly. And there are 4 main types to cover.
Awesome. Let's hear about them.
We'll start with the zero conditional, which is all about universal truth.
Okay, so like scientific facts.
Yes, like if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils.
Right. Or a more relatable example, if I drink coffee too late, I can't sleep
Exactly, it always happens.
every time.
Now, for the first conditional, we're talking about real possibilities in the future.
Oh, okay.
So it's like if it doesn't rain, we will go to the park.
That sounds like a good plan.
Right? It depends on the weather.
Makes sense. Now, what about those hypothetical situations, the ones that are unlikely or even impossible?
That's where the second conditional comes in.
Okay, give us an example.
Sure, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house.
Don't we all?
Right? It's just a fun way to imagine things.
I like it. And finally, we have the third conditional.
Yes. This one is for past regrets or missed chances.
Oh, like looking back on things?
Exactly. Like if they had left earlier, they would have caught the train.
Makes you wonder what could have been.
It does. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
let's quickly recap those key takeaways, starting with those future plans.
Right. It's not just about will or going to even present continuous. Can sneak in there.
Yeah, depending on the context.
And remember, those certainty dials.
Right.
Will for absolute certainty, might for hesitation, and could for all the possibilities.
You got it.
Now we also explored those conditional sentences.
Yes, those what-if scenarios that add so much richness to English.
From the zero conditional with universal truths to the third conditional with past regrets.
And don't forget those mind-bending mixed conditionals where time gets a little fuzzy.
Oh yeah, those are a topic for another day.
Exactly. But for now, listeners, keep those brains buzzing.
Absolutely. Challenge yourselves to come up with some of your own examples.
Yes, have fun with it.
Awesome. And on that note, we'll wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But stay tuned, because we'll be back soon to explore those mixed conditionals in more detail.
Should be fun.
Until then, keep those conversations flowing.
Yeah, keep practicing. They can be tough, but they add so much to your English.
It's like you're bending time.
Exactly.
Like if I hadn't missed that flight, I would be on a beach right now instead of stuck at work.
It's fun to imagine.
Yeah. And you can also use them for regrets or even explanations, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like if I had invested in that tech company years ago, I'd be retired by now.
Oh, yeah, I hear that.
Or if I'd trained harder, I could have won that marathon.
It's a way of looking back and seeing how our choices have led us here.
It really makes you think. Now, before we wrap up,
Okay.
let's take a moment to recap everything.
Sure.
We started with those future plans.
Right.
Remember, it's not just will or going to.
Mm-hmm.
Even present continuous can be used there.
It all depends on the context.
And then we had those certainty dials.
Yeah.
Will for total certainty, might for hesitation, and could for all those possibilities.
I love those dials.
Me too. They're so helpful. Then we dove into those conditional sentences.
Yes, the what-ifs of English.
We covered all 4 main types.
Right.
From the zero conditional with its universal truths
Mm-hmm.
to the third conditional and all those past regrets.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
Yeah.
But hopefully now you have a better grasp of how they work.
I think so.
And don't forget about those mixed conditionals where time gets a little weird.
Oh, yeah. Those are tricky.
We'll definitely have to do a whole episode just on those.
I
But for now,
Yeah.
keep those brains buzzing and those what-if scenarios flowing.
Exactly. Have fun with it.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dives.
Okay.
We hope you enjoyed this exploration of future talk and all its complexities.
We had fun.
As always, keep those conversations going and keep practicing.
You got it.
Until next time.
Bye.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to think how one little choice could change everything.
Right. Like a choose your own adventure book, but in real life.
Exactly. And we never know where each path might lead.
That's the beauty of it. The mystery, the possibilities.
I love that. So even though we can't actually go back, just thinking about those what-ifs can help us grow.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
It helps us understand ourselves and appreciate what we have.
And maybe make better choices next time.
So listeners, think about it. What if you had taken that leap of faith?
Ooh.
What if you had said yes instead of no? What if you had chased that dream?
You might surprise yourself.
You really might.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to try something new.
Maybe.
Or just appreciate what you have even more.
That's a great point.
Because everything you've done has led you to where you are today.
Right.
And from here, the possibilities are endless.
I like that.
It's a good thought to end on. So as you go about your day,
Okay.
remember the power of language, the beauty of those what-ifs, and all the amazing things that could be.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning, and most importantly, keep those conversations flowing.
Yes, exactly.
Until next time.
Bye.